Live from downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma's own News on 6 starts now.
A lot of mass destruction. I mean, it's bad. It's tore all. It's just torn up bad.
It's really devastating for the town.
Said we have to go because there's a gas leak down there, and I said, I still have a dog in there. I need to go get my dog. She said, no, we got to go. We got to go now.
So we started heard screaming from downstairs. I could hear people outside.
As soon as the town was struck with the tornado, resources immediately began to arrive to town.
The Oklahoma Standard is alive and well. I've had people from all over reaching out and coming out to help.
That's what we're here to do. No one wants to see their neighbor suffering.
Support your neighbors and help one another and just be there for each other.
First here at 10 o'clock, Oklahomans are recovering in places like Bartlesville and Barnsdall after last night's tornado outbreak. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Day.
And I'm Lori Fulbright. 8 tornadoes tore through parts of Oklahoma last night, leaving behind a trail of devastation and killing at least one person. The National Weather Service says the tornado that hit Barnsdall was an EF4, and they were just hit by an EF1 tornado on April 1st. The April one caused some damage, but of course it doesn't even compare to what they're dealing with tonight.
We have live team coverage tonight in Barnsdall and Bartlesville as those communities begin to look toward rebuilding. We
start tonight with a search for a man who is still missing in Barnsdall. 81-year-old Wayne Hogue has not been seen since that tornado destroyed his home. News on 6's Aaron Conrad is live and says Wayne's family talked to him just moments before the tornado hit. Aaron?
Well, Lori, that man's son lives here in Bartlesville, just 20 miles away. He called his dad just before the storm hit to tell him to shelter, just before he sheltered here himself.
And I told him, I said, hey, you got a storm coming in? He's like, yeah, that's what I heard. I'm like, well, I said, it's bad. He's like, yep, I'm just going to put my trust in Jesus, and either I stay here and he protects me or I go home, one or the other.
That was the last conversation Richard Hogue had with his dad, 81-year-old Wayne, before Richard and his family took shelter. Later Monday night, Richard called his dad again, but that call went unanswered.
I had a friend that we go to church with that was over there that worked for Osage County, so he was texting me and let me know that Dad's house was gone.
Richard and his wife spent the day searching what was left of his dad's home, talking to first responders and calling local hospitals.
There's no telling. I mean, it's a tornado. Who knows where it's at?
Hogue's faith is what's getting him through. The same faith, he says, gave his dad peace right before the tornado hit.
If you'd ever met him, you would have known that he loved Jesus. That was his thing. So just having that peace, knowing that one day we'll be together again. You know, it's only the good Lord knows how long that'll be, but eventually we'll be together.
Well, Richard says he hopes they find Wayne, but says either way, he knows where his dad went. Likely tomorrow, him and his wife will be out in Barnsdall again, continuing the search. Live in Bartlesville, Aaron Conrad, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
The Washington County Emergency Management Director says as many as 1,200 homes have some sort of damage from the tornado. An estimated 300 of those have structural damage.
They'll get a better assessment tomorrow when they can start processing all of the paperwork and the photographs. The storm also damaged a number of businesses, including the Hampton Inn. It pulled up trees from the ground, peeled metal off the buildings. Emergency Management Director Carrie Cox stresses how important it is for people to stay away from the storm damage zone because half of the traffic lights in the town are still out and onlookers are backing up traffic. Relief groups like the Oklahoma Baptist Disaster Relief are in town. They're trying to feed folks, and they have a chainsaw team. They're expected to be there tomorrow.
I didn't expect everybody to come together like they have when it happened. Like everybody's been helping everybody around here getting cleaned up.
Utility crews have also worked several natural gas leaks. The city of Bartlesville has a drop-off site open from 7 to 4 Monday through Friday for any tree debris. It's on West Highway 60, just east of the Green Country Rodeo Arena near the airport.
And several groups have now opened temporary shelters for those storm victims. The Red Cross has a shelter at the Osage County Fairgrounds in Pawhuska with food, cots, health services. Be the Light Mission and Bartlesville First Church are also opening their doors. We have a list of all the shelters, the meal giveaways, and other resources, all at newson6.com. People in Welch are also cleaning up some storm damage tonight. Most of the roof and the wall on the auxiliary school gym are just gone. People who live in that area say debris was flying everywhere.
Wife jumped up and said, "We need to grab the kids." And about that time, some of the roof from the school gym came through our window.
There was a bright flash of lightning and thunder, and the wind was so loud we knew something was serious, and we heard screaming from downstairs. I could hear people outside.
The good news is nobody in the Welch area was hurt.
Several state leaders were in Barnsdall today to get a look at the damage. Senator James Lankford says some of the homes in Barnsdall look as bad as the ones in Sulphur from the tornado there just more than a week ago. Lankford says he's proud to see so many groups already jumping in to help others.
You just don't know the sense of hope when your home is destroyed and people walk out and just see the debris of their life and they think, I don't know where to start, and then somebody volunteers and says, I'll help. It brings hope to people to say, okay, this is going to get better.
Senator Lankford and Governor Kevin Stitt are working with FEMA to include last night's storm damage under a disaster declaration.
But a huge part of getting that federal funding approved for Oklahoma is reporting damage. Oklahoma has a website for people to record their damage. That website is damage.ok.gov.
And the National Weather Service will continue to survey damage across eastern Oklahoma and continue to work on the track and the ratings of our tornadoes from Monday night. They have released a little bit more information on what they're thinking with the Barnsdall tornado that tracked up towards Bartlesville. Preliminary rating right now EF4, and the estimated winds in Barnsdall 165 to 175 miles per hour. Now, they did expect that this track is from, of course, the same supercell, but also thinking it's one tornado that tracked and started just southeast of Hominy, crossed Highway 20 up to Barnsdall and up to Bartlesville before it merged into a line with thunderstorms, and that kind of stopped the horrible tornado that was on the ground at that point. It weakened the storm right in Bartlesville, and that we're thankful for that, but of course still had damage in Bartlesville from last night. Tonight is quiet. Temperatures from the 50s and 60s. Tomorrow we may have a few showers and storms in the morning, and then we have another round of strong to severe storms expected tomorrow afternoon. I'll let you know where and when and the threats coming up.
Governor Kevin Stitt was also in Barnsdall today talking to victims and looking over the damage.
The governor has approved $45 million in state funding to match federal relief money available for the hardest hit communities. News on 6's Chloe Abbott has more of our team coverage with the story of a mother of two who lost everything they own.
Courtney Swift and her two children, Aubrey and Letty, used to live here. Courtney doesn't know what's next for them, but she does know they need prayer right now. As Aubrey and Letty Swift look through debris for what's left of their home, their mother Courtney wants them to remember two things.
To not give up on hope. To know we'll have family there with them. We'll have friends that come help.
Courtney's daughters were at their grandparents' when the tornado hit, and Courtney left work immediately with one thing on her mind.
I was devastated. I tried to find my dog. We did end up catching her this morning. We did find the cat.
Aubrey says she lost her most valued treasure, a softball jersey.
Because I need it for games and tryouts and stuff.
But Aubrey says it's okay.
It's like replaceable, so you can like buy stuff new.
Even though Courtney doesn't have a home anymore, what she does have is a new outlook.
The start of a new beginning.
She says she only feels that way because it's her only option.
Something we can do. It's hard, but I'm grateful for family.
The Swift family will be salvaging whatever they can over the next few days, like Aubrey's softball picture. We have ways you can donate to these families at newson6.com. In Barnsdall, Chloe Abbott, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Viewers have sent us a ton of videos and pictures of the storms. A lot of them came from Barnsdall that show the tremendous amount of damage. Because the tornadoes hit after dark, they were hard to see at times, but several people did get pictures when the lightning lit up the sky, and video. Those pics and videos show everything from flooding to debris whipping around in the wind.
First responders from all over Green Country raced into those affected areas, of course, to help. Oklahoma Task Force 1 set up a command post in Barnsdall and spent hours searching through homes and rubble and debris. Responders from Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Verdigris, Owasso, and Cushing were all there, other areas as well. And several canines were also helping to make sure there were no additional victims.
The volunteers and storm victims are hoping for another nice day tomorrow, but we do have a chance of rain across parts of our Osage Casino Skycam network. Stacia has the latest.
And the tornado that hit Barnsdall is the second one in that town in just 5 weeks. Despite damage from both, one woman tells us how she manages to stay positive.
Plus, groups from all over Oklahoma are showing the Oklahoma standard when it comes to helping those storm victims. The damage in Barnsdall is heartbreaking for so many families who are struggling tonight to figure out what they're going to do next.
It's made even worse because this is the second tornado to hit that town in just 5 weeks. News on 6's Caitlin Deggs is live with a story of a family who had their home damaged by both those tornadoes. Caitlin?
Craig and Lori, Susan Love says she's lived in Barnsdall all her life. And after seeing the damage from last month's tornado, she never wanted to see anything stronger. But now she has. We first introduced you to Susan Love in April when her home was hit by a tornado.
Everybody took it really serious. We're all still a little shell-shocked from April 1st.
Susan says the second tornado did a lot more damage and was a lot more terrifying.
It sounded like a train went right over the top of us. Ears were popping, like painfully, just repeatedly. It felt like all the air came out of our cellar, like it was a pressurized feeling. Like none of us have been through anything like that. We didn't really feel that with the first one.
Right after the storm had passed, her sons jumped into action to help save her daughter, who was trapped in her cellar with her family on the other side of town.
They ran out during the storm, cut down a tree to get them out of their cellar because it had fallen on top of the cellar door. And then we stayed down for another probably 20-30 minutes before we came out.
She can now see a subdivision she couldn't see before because so many trees are down. And lots of her neighbors' things and parts of their homes and businesses are now on Susan's lawn.
Stuff that wasn't ours was everywhere. We had stairs, flooring, stuff that looked like it came from the plant.
She feels lucky it wasn't worse, and her heart goes out to the people who lost everything. She has faith in her town and its people and believes they will come back stronger.
We all get together and help our neighbors, and Barnsdall will push through it. We always do. That's one good thing about living here is everybody always comes together, and we'll get it cleaned up and get it fixed.
And Susan hopes people will help out any way they can, whether it's donating food, clothes, or money, because the people in town will need all the help they can get and will for quite some time. Live in Barnsdall, Caitlin Deggs, Oklahoma's Own, News on 6.
People are really stepping up to help tornado victims, not just with the things they need.
Members of Spirit Church in Bartlesville are helping people not just by providing food, but also showing love to those affected by the tornado. And they are just one of many groups helping.
Bartlesville is full of community. Every single block you step on, you just know there's someone there to help someone else. Like all the organizations we have here in Bartlesville are so quick to help.
Spirit Church says they will take donations and will make sure the resources get where to people who need them. Volunteers will be at the high school parking lot again tomorrow with lunch from 11:30 to 1:30 and dinner from 4:30 to 6:30. And a lot of folks want to help. So News on 6 is partnering with the American Red Cross to support tornado relief efforts across Oklahoma. You can visit newson6.com/Red Cross to help those affected by the storms.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, Oklahoma weather expert, Stacia Knight.
And of course, our Barnsdall tornado from last night, preliminary rating EF4, those winds 165 to 175 miles per hour. The last time we had an EF4 tornado in northeastern Oklahoma was the Pitcher tornado back in 2008. And the last time we had a fatality from a tornado was actually the Sand Springs tornado back in 2015. So we had a stretch here, years went by without a violent tornado and then also a fatality. But unfortunately, now we're dealing with, of course, cleaning up from last night's awful tornadoes. And Barnsdall tornado same supercell that tracked from just southeast of Hominy across Highway 20 up to Barnsdall, up to Bartlesville. A lot of our pictures and videos from viewers were sent to us from off in the distance because the tornado was so large, and it became large very quickly. We had pictures and videos coming in from around the Hominy area already as the storm had started, and then of course continued up towards Barnsdall. This picture came in from the Barnsdall schools from James Cole looking back at the tornado. Power flashes off in the distance along with lightning helps light it up and illuminate it, but you can see the edges of it and just how large it was. So again, National Weather Service will release more information as they put together their surveys from last night. There are also a few other spots that they will be surveying, like over in Adair County around Cherry Tree. We had a spin up last night. That was around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning as the storms were pushing off across Adair County over into Arkansas. So there's a few other spots, and maybe even one up in far northwestern Osage County, maybe one near Dewey. So there's still a lot more that will be coming out in the coming days about last night's storms. Tonight, things are quiet here at home. We're sitting in the mid-60s. Exception is Skiatook, which is still at 70. Tomorrow morning, a few isolated cells will fire up more than likely in the far northeast corner of the state, back into Missouri, far eastern Kansas. There could be some hail, some gusty winds, but front is coming through with a few more cells possible by lunchtime right along I-44. That's when the front's coming through Tulsa, is about the noon hour. And then by 4 or 5 o'clock, the front is from Tahlequah, Muskogee, Eufaula, and McAllister. And we are watching at that point for some strong to severe storms to develop. Southeast Oklahoma, those storms fire up probably by 6 p.m. As you can see here on Future View, wind, hail, and an isolated tornado risk tomorrow for our far eastern or southeastern counties and then over into Arkansas. Severe weather threat moves out by about 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Then we're quiet after that. We're quiet for a while, several days actually, so that'll be nice. 70s on Thursday, beautiful sunshine, a light north breeze on Friday. 70s once again with still some sunshine. It's just one more round of severe weather is possible this week, and it's tomorrow afternoon from I-44 to the south, but really we're thinking from Tahlequah, Muskogee, Eufaula, McAllister, and back down to the southeast from there. Mayfest this year may have a pretty good run at weather. Starting up on Friday, good to go. 70s Friday and Saturday with light winds. More clouds expected Saturday, but Sunday, which is Mother's Day, Sunday, we do have a chance at some isolated showers, some rumbles of thunder during the day. More than likely, though, that will be Sunday night into early Monday. Next week, we do have a chance at a few rounds of storms. Now, at this point, looking at data that far out, severe weather threat does not look as high as it was last night or even really tomorrow across southeast Oklahoma. But we will watch and we will continue to make updates to it because it is still May. This is our busy season, our awful season for storms, and so we still have the rest of May to go.
Don't want to take it for granted, that's for sure.
We appreciate all your hard work, that's for sure.
The whole team, thank you.
Time for a look at sports.
Hard work Thunder right now, right?
Let's hope they're working hard.
They are. I got the first half highlights of Mavericks Thunder as they start their Western Conference semifinal series, plus state semifinal action in high school soccer. Keep it here.
Driven by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, this is News on 6 Sports with Justin Woodard.
Second round playoff basketball tops the Window World Sports desk. For the first time since the 2015-2016 campaign, the Thunder finds itself in the Western Conference semifinals. In order to match what that team accomplished, top seed OKC must now get past the Mavericks. The Thunder did win the season series over Dallas. However, Mavs won in blowout fashion with both Luka and Kyrie in the lineup. Game one highlight so far, this is the matchup we want to see. Lou Dort taking on Luka Doncic. Luka here in the post, backing his way down. Turnaround jumper is up and good. Mavs up by 3 at that point. Luka had 12 at the break. Cason Wallace in transition. Not about him. Chet Holmgren follow-up jam, 2 hands, 36-33. Thunder now ahead. Holmgren had 11 at the break. Then SGA going to work. Stop, pop, free throw line jumper. Nothing but nylon. SGA with 19 at the break. Last check, third quarter, Thunder looking good at home, 80-69. Oklahoma State has a new head wrestling coach. The Cowboys announced today that Olympic gold medalist David Taylor is set to lead the program. Taking over for legend John Smith will not be easy, but Taylor's resume is awfully impressive, being a 3-time winner at the World Championships as well. Let's talk some college softball. Oklahoma State standout Lexi Kilfoyle has been named the Big 12 and NFCA Pitcher of the Week following her great performances against Oklahoma. Kilfoyle is the first pitcher in program history to sweep the awards on 3 different occasions this year. Then, thanks to winning their first series over the Sooners since 1997, OSU is now ranked second in the nation, according to the ESPN and USA softball poll. The Sooners, meanwhile, dropped to fourth. OSU opens the Big 12 tournament on Thursday morning. OU will follow the Cowgirls. One-time Oklahoma State commit Devontae Davis will finally suit up for the Cowboys, and new head coach Steve Lutz announcing he's transferring to OSU today. Davis played the last 4 years for Arkansas. He owns a career average of over 8 points and 2 assists per ball game. Meanwhile, college football news, good one here. Tulsa has landed former Utah State quarterback Cooper Legas over the past 2 years for the Aggies. Not bad here. Legas racked up over 3,300 passing yards to go with 32 total touchdowns. Women's college golf, we had second-round action today at the respective regionals across the country. Looking to be in the top 5 after tomorrow's third and final round. Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State all in decent shape. Golden Hurricane tied for 5th at the Auburn Regional. Sooners are 6th out in Las Vegas. Cowgirls are tied for 7th up in East Lansing. More golf. Third and final round of the Class 6A Boys State Tournament taking place this afternoon at Oaks Country Club. Owaso's Cameron Cheek makes a short putt on the 9th hole. He finished third individually for the tournament. Really nice. Rams earned second place as a team. Par 4 13th hole. Will Hennessy, Bishop Kelly there. Par safe. He finished in the top 10 as well. Your champion, Edmond North. Huskies claim their 18th state title. To the pitch, boys Class 6A state semifinals. Owasso and Broken Arrow going at it. Second half, Tigers up 1-0, looking for more. Joshua Nagoy going to put his right foot on it, but what a save by the Rams. If you're Broken Arrow, though, no reason to sweat. 1-0 at half, 1-0 final. They'll face Jinx for the 6A championship. Over to Class 5A girls now, state semifinals. Hull & Hall hosting Claremore. First half here, Dutch on the attack, going to cross it into Berkeley Zahn. Looks to be bottled up, but just says, give me a little space. Knows what to do with it. Back of the net, 1-0 at that point. All Hull & Hall. They win it 3-0. They're going to take on Pryor for the Class 5A state title. Boys, can tell you real quick, too, Booker T. Washington and SM Prep also both through to the state final. So,
all right.
Woo,
thank
soccer
you so
team's
much.
going strong.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Take a breath. Yeah.
For sure. Well, after a tragedy, a warm meal can provide nutrition as well as comfort.
And the Food Bank in Tulsa is offering some of both to tornado victims and workers.
The Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma is once again helping feed victims and people working in the storm-affected areas.
They prepared hundreds of rice, bean, and pork bowls today, and they delivered lunch and dinner to the shelter in Pawhuska, where people are staying after being evacuated from Barnsdall.
We have 2 disaster teams, actually. One going out today to the northern Oklahoma area around Bartlesville, and then the other half of us are going down to Sulphur tomorrow to serve our neighbors there.
And that will be the Food Bank's second trip to Sulphur.
Makes a huge difference when you see those smiling faces bringing something to
offering some food, some comfort. It's very nice for sure.
And hey, tomorrow there is a chance that more storms. Probably our strongest storms would be later into the afternoon and evening across southeast Oklahoma. Alan will have more in the morning.
All right, Stacia, thank you so much.
Thanks, Stacia. Thank you for joining us.
We will see you back here tomorrow. Good night.